You'd be forgiven for assuming that not a whole lot has changed with Honda's new minivan, now in its 5th generation. It certainly looks a lot like the old model. However, it's a bit more powerful, more sure-footed, and a whole lot quieter than before. Plus, it's packed to the gills with lots of new tech to help keep mom and dad happy, so let's hop behind the wheel of this 2018 Honda Odyssey Elite and see exactly what's new. Let's first talk performance. Under the hood, we've got a 3.5-liter direct-injected iVTEC engine, which is similar to what we had last year. However, now it's rocking direct injection technology, which bumps the output to 280 horsepower. That's over 30 horsepower more than we had before. That's made it to a 9-speed or an optional 10-speed automatic transmission. That's a ridiculous number of forward gears, but it allows the more powerful engine to boast about the same fuel economy as we had last year. Out back, we've got a new compact multi-link suspension that helps the Odyssey ride just a bit smoother, soak up the bumps a bit better. It also works with the additional sound deadening material and optional acoustic glass to help the cabin just sound a lot quieter. On the dashboard, we've got Honda's new cabin technology suite. It's an 8-inch unit that's still based on Android like before, but it's got new software on top of that and new hardware underneath. Honda tells us that it's its most responsive system yet, and playing around with it, I can definitely tell that. It's got a lot of the same features that we saw in vehicles like the Pilot and the Ridgeline, like standard Android Auto and optional Garmin navigation, but this is a family vehicle, so it's got a lot of family-friendly features. It's got a lot of the same features that we've seen in other Honda vehicles, but this is the most family-friendly of them, so it's got more family-focused features. Things like the new cabin watch system, which is a camera mounted in the ceiling that gives a bird's eye view of all the seats behind us. It's also infrared sensitive, so it works at night, so you can keep an eye on your young ones while you drive. I've also got a feature called Cabin Talk, which uses a microphone mounted here in the ceiling to broadcast my voice to the speakers all the way at the back of the car. That way I don't have to shout for people on the third row to hear me clearly. And if they're using headphones and listening to the rear seat entertainment system, I can also tap a button and have my voice come through those as well. And just over my shoulder, we've got the new rear seat entertainment system, which is ceiling mounted and gains a lot of new features for this generation as well. Features like kid-friendly video streaming apps like PBS Kids, the ability to watch a Blu-ray that's played from up front or connect an HDMI video source out back. We've also got a new app called How Much Further that integrates into the navigation system and shows the sort of estimated time of arrival in a kid-friendly way with really fun graphics. It's a bit of a ripoff of Chrysler's Are We There Yet app, but it's still pretty cool. The last bit of family-friendly infotainment up front is the cabin control app interface. Now what that means is that I can pair up to 7 smartphones via Wi-Fi to the cabin technology and allow the people in the back of the car to add songs to a community playlist or suggest destinations for navigation. That way I, the driver, can keep my eyes on the road and everybody in the car can stay entertained. Now, most of Honda's vehicles have some sort of interesting back seat. Usually it's some sort of a magic folding something or other, but here we have the magic sliding second row seats. Now what they can do is they can slide back and forth just a little bit, but they have a lot of lateral mobility. You can slide them really far left to right. That gives you the ability to get really good access to the back seats when you're coming in the side of the car, or to separate kids who don't really want to sit right next to each other. They're a really useful feature for people who are going to always have the seats in their van because they're very flexible, but if you're the kind of person who likes to load your van up with cargo, they're not quite as useful as Chrysler's Stow and Goes. However, all the way back on the third row, we do have the ability to fold the seats completely flat into the floor of the vehicle. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of a whole bunch of features that have been added to this new generation of Honda Odyssey that just make it a much more functional vehicle for cramming a whole lot of kids in. And when you keep the kids happy in the back, that helps keep mom and dad real happy up front. Honda likes to brag about the Odyssey being a best-selling minivan, and yeah, it's better than it's ever been before, but the competition's also better than it's ever been before. The 2018 Odyssey will go toe-to-toe with the likes of the award-winning Chrysler Pacifica when it hits the road later this year.